All right, thanks guys. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to today's video. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. Now, if you're a regular watcher, please do me a favor and consider smashing that like button, the thumbs up button if you end up enjoying this video. And once again, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, please feel free to hit that subscribe button right now as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. And with that said, guys, got ourselves a very good slate of college basketball action here on a Tuesday. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start in the SEC. The games are queued up, ready to go on the big screen behind me. I'm talking about LSU versus Georgia, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Athens. The LSU Tigers are the 4.5-point favorite on the road. Total's 166. And if you like the Georgia Bulldogs in an upset victory on their home court here tonight, they're plus $1.75 on the money line. Now, did you know that we've won 4 out of our last 6 $1.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website? That's right, and we're also hitting at 75% in our last 16 premium picks in that very same tier membership. We currently have over 1,350 members who are signed up and active on that page, and the link for that Patreon site is in the description section below. Now, the Georgia Bulldogs are 11-3 straight up at the Stegman Coliseum. 78 points a game they're averaging on their home court. Severe Wheeler scoring 14 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Meanwhile, Tamani Kamara is scoring over a dozen a night himself, along with 7 rebounds for the 6'8 sophomore. The Bulldogs have successfully covered the point spread in 3 out of their last 4 ball games. Now they're taking on an LSU team who's just 4-5 against the number in their last 9 contests themselves, and they're giving up nearly 77 points a night when they travel. LSU's also dropped 4 out of their last 7 as the official road team. When it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of LSU's last 5 contests did stay under the posted number. Meanwhile, Georgia on the other side saw their last 2 straight stay under the total themselves. 7-6 to the under on their home court this season. I'm going to lean toward the Georgia Bulldogs, plus 4.5, and the under 166. All right, our next matchup, actually not on our big screen behind me, but it's going to be in the ACC. Very significant game of interest for me personally. I'm talking about Georgia Tech versus Virginia Tech, 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Blacksburg. Now, the Virginia Tech Hokies are the 2.5-point favorite at home. Total's 137 juice to the under. And speaking of the total in this one, the Hokies saw their last 2 straight ball games get over the posted number. Those were contests against Miami and Pittsburgh where the total got over. The Hokies are also 60% to the over this season as the home team. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech saw 2 out of their last 3 get over the total themselves, 70% to the over in their last 10. I think this game should be a fun one. Might see ourselves some scoring in it. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the over 137 in that contest. All right, next matchup. It is on our big screen behind me. I'm talking about West Virginia versus TCU, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The West Virginia Mountaineers are -7 away from home. Numbers 145. West Virginia's gone 9-3 in their ball games away from home this season. A handful of those contests were neutral site games. The Mountaineers are in the top 30 in the country in road scoring, and they also make nearly 40% of their three-pointers in that same category. Miles McBride's leading the scoring with 16 a game, along with 4 rebounds, 4 assists. The sophomore guard has also recorded 35 total steals, and he makes 45% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, 6'10 junior Derek Culver's scoring 15 points a game himself, along with double-digit rebounds. West Virginia's won 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Horned Frogs. And speaking of Texas Christian University, they're currently on a 2-game losing streak, and they also lost 7 out of their last 9. Now, TCU is a pitiful 1-10 against the spread on their home court this season, and they're averaging only 68 points a game. Now, total-wise, 3 out of TCU's last 5 ball games got over the line. 7-4 to the over at the Schollmeyer Arena. Meanwhile, West Virginia saw their last 7 straight get over the line themselves, 90% of the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward the West Virginia Mountaineers -7 and the over 145. Next matchup, SEC. I'm talking about Florida versus Auburn, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. The Auburn Tigers are -2, totals 154.5. And if you like the Gators in an upset on the road here, they're plus $110 for some money line cash. Now, Florida's been victorious in 5 out of their last 7 ball games. They rank in the top 20 in the nation in road scoring. Trey Mann is scoring over 14 points a game along with 5 rebounds, 3 assists. The 6'5 guard has also recorded 27 total steals. Colin Castleton's also scoring 13 points a game himself, 5 rebounds and 42 total blocks for the 6'11 forward. The Gators are scoring nearly 80 points a night when they travel, and they make 48% of their field goals away from home. Now, the Gators are squaring off against an Auburn team who covers just 40% of their games at home, and they also find themselves with a record of just 1-5 straight up in their last 6. Auburn allows over 77 points a game on average, and they lost 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Gators. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Auburn's 7-1 to the over in their last 8 ball games, 60% to the over at the Auburn Arena. Meanwhile, Florida saw 6 out of their last 7 contests as the official road team get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Florida Gators +2 and the over 154.5. All right, next matchup I have for you. It is going to be, is it on our big screen? It's a 7 o'clock game. Maybe I passed it? I don't know. Not on our big screen. I thought it was. Anyway, not on our big screen. It is going to be Notre Dame versus Louisville, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the KFC Yum Center. Louisville is -4.5 at home. Numbers 143. And speaking of the number, Louisville actually saw 3 out of their last 4 ball games stay under the posted total. 5-4 to the under at the KFC Yum Center. Meanwhile, Notre Dame saw 6 out of their last 8 contests stay under the total themselves. 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Cardinals. I like a good defensive battle in this one. I'm going to lean toward the under 143 in that ball game. All right, next contest. Back in the SEC, I'm talking about Ole Miss versus Mizzou, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Missouri Tigers are the 3.5-point favorite at home. Totals 132. Now, the Tigers have lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games, just 3-5 against the spread in their last 8. Mizzou was actually blasted by Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago by 21 points, and they've also lost 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Rebels. Now, the Tigers are making just 31% of their three-pointers on the season, and they're allowing 72 points per contest on their home court. Now, they're taking on an Ole Miss squad who's 4-1 straight up in their last 5, and they hold their opponents to just 68 points a game when they travel. Devontae Shuler scoring over 15 points a game along with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. The senior guard has also got 35 total blocks on the year. Meanwhile, Jarkel Joyner is averaging double digits a game himself along with a couple of boards and 84% shooting from the stripe. Ole Miss has covered the number in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Missouri. And when it comes to the total on this one, 3 out of Ole Miss's last 4 ball games got over the line. 9-1 to the over in their last 10 meetings with the Tigers. Meanwhile, Mizzou is 80% to the over in their last 10 themselves. 60% to the over at the Mizzou Arena. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Ole Miss Rebels +3.5 and the over 132. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be UConn. No, it's not. It's not our next and final matchup for the show. But it is going to be UConn versus Georgetown, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, the UConn Huskies are -5 away from home. Numbers 140 flat. UConn's covering 75% of their ball games away from their home court. Just 63 points a game they're giving up when they travel. The Huskies are in the top 25 in road points allowed, top 30 in defending the 3-ball away from home as well. Looks like James Bouknight's going to be seeing some action here tonight. He's been out most of the year with an injury. so we should see him in limited action. But in his absence, it's been Tyrese Martin who's done most of the scoring, nearly 13 points a game, 7 rebounds a night for the Allentown junior. Meanwhile, R.J. Cole averaged a dozen a game himself, along with a couple of boards and 4 assists. UConn successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 10 games with the Hoyas. And speaking of Georgetown, they've lost 6 out of their last 10 outings, just 3-9 straight up as the official underdog. The Hoyas are giving up almost 74 points a game defensively, and they currently find themselves 3 games below 500 for the entire season. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this matchup here, Georgetown saw games with Creighton, Syracuse, Butler, Marquette, and Seton Hall stay under the posted total within the past couple of months or so. Meanwhile, 3 out of UConn's last 6 stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the UConn Huskies -5 and the under 140. And with that, we are now going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It's going to be in the Big 12. I'm talking about Kansas versus Texas, 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Texas Longhorns are -2.5 at home. Total's 138 even. The Longhorns are 8-2 to the over in their last 10 matchups, 8-4 to the over officially as the home team. Meanwhile, Kansas saw 8 out of their last 12 contests away from their home court get over the posted total themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward the over 138 in that ball game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, powered to you by my Patreon website, where we are currently 4-2 in our last 6 $1.99 daily best plays on that page. We're also 75% in our last 16 premium picks in that very same category. I like the Georgia Bulldogs, +4.5, under 166. I also like the over 137 in the Georgia Tech-Virginia Tech game. Give me West Virginia -7 over 145. I also like the Florida Gators +2 over 154.5. I like the under 143 in the Notre Dame Louisville contest. I also like Ole Miss +3.5 over 132. Give me UConn -5 under 140. Before I give you my next and final matchup for the show, one final reminder to please hit that like button right now if you enjoyed this video. And if you're new here to the channel today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button right now as well. I'd be greatly appreciative if you did both of those things. I'm going to lean toward the over 138 in the Kansas-Texas matchup here tonight. All right, guys, just another quick reminder that all the content that I give you on this channel is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Devin Hunt, Soldier Man B, Darius Battle, CJ Parker, Josh Baker, Charlie Griswold from Michigan, Matthew Mendoca, Jason Chappell, Lucky Mio, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Ziggy007. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And have yourself a good day now.